After living and working in 7 different countries, I realized that career success abroad is much less about a specific skill set and much more about adaptability. These are the lessons that taught me the most. I'm Marcel Murrenhoff, and over the past decade, I have built my career across 7 different countries. And each country has taught me something that I would have never learned either at home or in a classroom. In this video, I want to share these lessons with you. Please bear in mind that these lessons are highly subjective. At the same time, I try to connect them to the broader cultural context so that you get the most value out of this video. I started my career or my life in Germany, where I grew up, where I studied. What I learned in Germany over the time is, of course, a basic skill set. And then most importantly, I learned that your comfort zone is killing your dreams. And at the end of my time in Germany, when I was approaching the end of my master's studies, it was growing more and more in me, the dream, the ambition, the desire to do more, to look out. And I then worked on a way to go abroad and to finish my studies. And it worked out, and I went to the United States. And the United States taught me so much. It's the first time I've been in contact with people and cultures from all over the world. I had friends and work and study buddies from India, from Africa, from China, of course the United States. And that showed me really how much potential is out there in the world, how much more to explore professionally and personally. At the same time, I was energized by the American spirit. I've been born in the US, but I grew up in Germany and my family background is also German. So I always hold this passport, but I never know what it actually meant. So going back was also for me to learn about this part of me that I've never paid too much attention to. I learned to dream big and then eventually also plan big and plan global. That's where I took the decision to not return to my home country, Germany, but look for international job opportunities. I moved to Switzerland, where I joined a sizable Swiss technology and engineering company. There I spent 1 year in the headquarters. And there I learned so much. I learned how corporate works. I had the privilege to shadow and support one senior leader who really taught me about the core values such as punctuality, reliability, and discipline. He taught me what it means to work hard in a corporate setting. And I still remember, because we often also worked in another location in Germany. And he was picking me up on Monday morning at 4 a.m. to drive to the other location. It was roughly 300 kilometers away. And that taught me 2 things. First of all, what kind of a great work culture is where your boss, who's a senior leader in the company, picks you up from your home and then you drive together. It is not in every work culture that you find this humility. And the second aspect I learned is that hard work matters. The proverbial early bird that catches the worm. After 1 year, then I understood more or less the ground rules about corporate, and then I wanted also to move out again. So I was transferred to Vietnam, still in the same company, where I led a project. Vietnam was for me a wonderful experience because it was the first time that I was immersed in an emerging country. I learned that speed and adaptability trumps perfection. It was the first time really to understand emerging markets, understand where really the development in the future will happen. It was also the first time where I experienced a cultural shock in the first 2 weeks. It was not known to me, and funnily, I never experienced a cultural shock ever again. I think that was just kind of a watershed moment for me, and then I was adapted to the new environment. And also when we now look forward, it prepared me for my time in China, which is quite similar. But before China, I spent 5 years in Africa, first in Kenya. And in Kenya, I learned also the realities of a market, another emerging country, and even a different one. And I learned that the market realities that we learn in the boardroom or that we try to map in our flashy PowerPoint presentations, they rarely capture the reality on the ground. So seeing is believing. And for me, that meant also to immerse myself in the host culture, the host environment. I believe that there we get much deeper insights than doing one business trip, often anything between 2 to 5 working days. There we can only scratch the surface, but immersing ourselves in the culture, that gives us a glimpse of what is really there. Another thing that I learned in Kenya, because it was very specific at the time, it was early 2020. COVID happened. Of course, there were many voices from back home, please come back home, it's not safe where you are. But I stayed put, the only right decision. I had a feeling, I can't go just home. This is my home and I'm here with the team. I'm part of the team. Who am I to just go back home to my so perceived safe environment? I don't think I would not be in alignment with my own personal values. So I decided to stay. And in the end, that was the right decision, because if I had left, I think I would have never gotten the opportunity of a lifetime. Getting asked if I would like to take over the leadership of our company in Nigeria. Nigeria was new for me. It was also the first time that I had real leadership responsibility. The first time that I had P&L, so profit and loss responsibility. And that in one of the most challenging environments that is out there. But it shaped me so much. I call it was my real life MBA. It was, in short, an intense time. With intense, I mean in a positive way. I have learned so much about my own resilience, and I got to really appreciate the resilience of the local team, of the Nigerians, which is really through the roof. I learned how to deal with problems in an ever-changing, fast-paced environment. In Nigeria, no day is the same. Always something happening. If that is fuel or cash shortages, power outages, the personal safety risk due to the kidnappings, to the home invasions, to the robberies, it's the massive corruption, it's the missing forex and the situation that creates in the market. If it's a customer that calls you in the middle of the night and yells at you and threatens to put you behind bars if you're not supporting him and solving the problem within the next 5 hours. A burning office where the fire brigade doesn't come because it's not really functional. So there are so many experiences that we often cannot even imagine from afar that I had the privilege to go through, which hardened myself and made also myself much more relaxed now. If I'm now confronted with a challenge, I look at this challenge and ask myself, how would I react to it with my experience that I have? And most of the time, it's much calmer. And I believe that helps me to be a better leader, a better colleague, and a better contributor in life as well as in business. After Nigeria, I moved to China. While in Nigeria, together with the team, we were responsible for service, sales, and a bit of application or technology. In China, I moved to the product side. So I was responsible for the design as well as the manufacturing and the quality and the output of a factory for one specific product line in the company. Nearly 180 degrees change. So of course that is also a great challenge, right? To just do something completely new that you have not done before. By far even more important, what I learned is that speed and adaptability is everything. I have never encountered a country where speed and scale is so impressive and so important. I believe we as foreigners, as Westerners, have not really yet understood what that means for the future of the world order, of business, of culture, of soft power. And I am highly impressed. And every day I wake up here and I learn something about technology, about pragmatism, about politics, about economy, and it's just mind-blowing. There's so much in the media from both sides where there are certain pictures and certain perceptions drawn and created and drafted. But when you go in, when you immerse yourself, when you give the other culture, the other person a chance, that we are much more alike than we are different. My takeaway from these 7 countries so far is that every country has shaped how I view the world and how I act within that world. The biggest lesson for me is that global careers are about mindset. It's not where you go, but it's how you grow, how you take this opportunity to grow. If you are building an international career or planning to move abroad, subscribe to this channel. I'm sharing practical insights for you on a regular basis.